Patillo is an attorney and an activist, and he joins us tonight. Robert, thank you for coming on. So
Thanks, Tucker.
Progressive activists have a right to intimidate and scream at people they disagree with politically in public places, in restaurants, for example, or outside their homes, what are the boundaries of that? I mean, do you have a right to show up at someone's kid's soccer game and scream at the parents? Do you have a right to show up at the person's church, at their parents' funeral? I mean, what are the boundaries now in this new activism on the left?
Well, Tucker, one thing that I think is important, you started off this segment by talking about the First Amendment rights and freedom of speech. What Maxine said to her supporters was to exercise their freedom of speech. So if you see somebody who is in power, confront them, speak to them about the issues. We're in a swamp territory in D.C. right now where individuals only listen to lobbyists and to special interest groups. If the only time you get to speak to elected officials is when they're in public, then by all means, don't commit violence, don't commit anything that will harm the individual, but let them know how you feel. People have the right to exercise their First Amendment rights.
I'm actually, it's a little stunning for me to take a lecture about the First Amendment from anyone on the left who've been working overtime for the past couple of years to curtail our First Amendment rights, who invented this fake category of hate speech, etc. But leaving that aside, this is not a debate about anyone's right to speak. It's a debate about whether it's appropriate to scream at people in public and to force them out of, for example, restaurants. This is not an attempt to win them over or to show them another side of the issue. It's an effort to intimidate them. You can't read it any other way. You're not telling me they were trying to inform Sarah Huckabee Sanders. They were punishing her.
Look, Tucker, the entire point is that because the members of the administration don't talk to the American people, they don't have regular press briefings, they don't go out and have town hall meetings, this is the only time the individuals have the opportunity to speak with them.
What do you mean? Trump just preempted our show yesterday. Wait, hold on. Come on.
There's a difference between a
yesterday, the president,
and a town hall.
But you said they don't give press briefing. Look, we hear a lot from the administration. We hear a lot from its opponents. I welcome that almost uniquely on television. I like debates. I'm glad that you are here. We disagree. I think we should have a conversation. You do not have the right to scream at me in front of my children in a restaurant, surround my house on the weekend when my kids are home, come to my church, go to their soccer games, go to my parents' funerals. Do you see the difference between having a debate over the issues and intimidating people in the public space?
Well, let's understand that the entirety of this issue started with a lack of messaging on the part of the administration, by not explaining what the detention policy is, by not explaining what exactly is happening to these children. If the president and the administration want to have a conversation about this, do like other administrations have done. Go do town halls around the country, speak to voters, let the people express their feelings to the administration. Understand what public opinion is. Don't simply hide behind the walls of power. And nobody's going to people's soccer games or funerals or going to their homes. Job. They're saying confront these people in public.
Well, those are public spaces, and I guess the point I'm making is once you start describing people you disagree with politically as Nazis, as the worst category of almost non-human beings, you are almost by definition encouraging, first of all, you're closing out any possibility of agreement or compromise, and you're basically saying, hurt them. I mean, what do you do to, honestly, I'm being sincere with you, what do you do to a Nazi? If you really thought Nazis were taking over the country, you know what I would do? I would consider force. I don't want to be governed by Nazis. So that's why we don't talk that way, because it, by its definition, encourages violence, right?
But no, Tucker, let's understand that during the Obama administration, he was accused of being everything from a Muslim sleeper cell to not an American citizen. This is what happens. Joe Walsh yelled out, "You lie," during a presidential address. The discourse that we have in this nation has become caustic. Somebody has to fix the issue. But right now, when you have an administration that refuses to speak to the American people, it's difficult to get in there.
Okay, again, it's not my job to flack for the White House. But holy smokes, he just did an hour-long live event yesterday. He's doing an hour-long live event tomorrow. I mean, they speak a lot. That's not really the issue. The issue is whether you have a right to take political differences and turn them into some kind of mob retaliation against the people you disagree with. Can we just agree on this? Maybe the left should stop calling people Nazis. Maybe that's too far. Maybe that is setting the table for something awful. Can we agree on that? Or is it okay to liken people to Adolf Hitler? I mean, for real.
Look, Tucker, we can agree on that, but can also the right not support the Charlottesville actual Nazis who are walking around with swastikas? That's what FOMET says. You have to condemn those Nazis.
I mean, I've never met anybody who would support it. Okay, look, I've never met anybody who would. I mean, I agree with that.
Conversations.
Okay, but It's one thing to say of someone who is espousing, I guess, Nazi views, you're a Nazi. But to say about someone who disagrees with you on immigration policy, you're a Nazi, what you're saying is, I don't need to win you over, debate you. What I need to do is destroy you. And that's what the left is saying, isn't it?
I think what happens is when you do not condemn, we do not condemn people like David Duke, we do not condemn the neo-Nazis in Charlottesville, then you get your issues conflated with them. Well, as I said, there's a difference between doing an hour-long speech to people and having a town hall where you speak with people and get their input, get their side of the conversation, and present public policy that helps all people.